Welcome back to another vlogcast. It's your girl, Coach Bree, and as y'all can see by the title, y'all already know what this episode is going to be about. Okay, so I know y'all came to watch for some juicy details, and I got some for you. Let me just give a mini little disclaimer before we get started. If you ain't subscribed yet, what you doing? Because, like, if you ain't subscribed yet, what you watching for? Because, like, if you ain't subscribed yet, what you waiting on? Huh? You can honestly hit that button right now. It don't even take a second. You hit that button right now, and you still ain't did it, why you still watching? Subscribe to my channel. Anywho, this is going to be a quick little intro, and we're going to get right into it. Y'all, so first and foremost, let me apologize because these last 2 weeks I haven't posted anything for season 2. Reason being is because these videos got corrupted. Well, there was one video that got corrupted, and it kind of changed some things, the schedule, the formatting and stuff, and then last week, y'all, just a lot of stuff coming up. So let me just apologize to y'all there. I know some of y'all was in my DMs like, where is this episode at? So here it is. And I wanted to say, first and foremost, before we get into it, this is a vlogcast, right? And I know y'all always watch me in my vlogcast when I'm in the kitchen. And I wanted to do something different, right? Like y'all watch me grocery shopping or just getting out and enjoying life while doing my podcast at the same time. But, you know, my ADHD just doesn't work well with that just yet. So for now, you're just going to keep watching me being a big back, at least in this episode, okay? I'm making turkey burgers. Shasha is asleep. She already ate good. Now she down for her nap. So we doing this vlogcast with no interruptions. All right. So before we start getting into this topic, let me just say this now. This is for all of my single parents out there, and some of y'all have already been in my DMs about this very topic that we're going to discuss today. So, hey y'all, for y'all are watching. But this episode is not to bash anyone. This episode is not for sympathy. This episode is not for anything. I like to call them echo chambers, which are those, and I got it from one of my favorite YouTubers I like to watch, NTR. Shout out to NTR. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. Okay, he likes to call them echo chambers, meaning those type of people like to egg on, like, say, for example, if you're friends with someone who just got out of a relationship, right, instead of holding that person accountable for the things that they could have done better on or they should have never done in the relationship, instead they boost your ego on things that you don't want to deal with about yourself, things that you know they're going to validate you on that you shouldn't be, that you should actually be corrected on, or, you know, just have a mirror put up to your face and be like, yo, you was wrong for that type of deal. So when you hear me say echo chambers, I got that from MTR, which means just that I explained, right? This video is not for y'all either. This video is about accountability, growth, and things that I missed the target on, or some people like to say missed the mark on, that I've learned the hard way from. And I'm going to be telling y'all those things that I've done wrong, that I've missed, and we're gonna build a conversation around those things, okay? Those things only. All right, so again, this is not to bash anyone, so if you came here thinking I was giving some juicy details and, whoa, it's me, I'm the victim, sorry, you wasted your time. Go find something else to watch, because this ain't what this is about, okay? Also, I want to say, one of the things that, this is just a summary of what this whole video is about, right? We all like to see red flags in other people. We all love to see them and talk about them and about red flags in other people, yada, yada, yada. But we have red flags too, okay? We all have red flags that need to be addressed, that are issues as well, right? We all are victims. whether we like to admit it or not, we are all victims. Yeah, they may have done something to you. They may have mishandled you, wasted your time, mistreated you, but what did you do? You might have talked to them crazy like they were kids, right? You might have disrespected them, called them out their names, the way you handled them, the way you treated them. They are victims of your actions as well, and how you went about your dispensation. And so everybody's a victim and everybody's a suspect. You're not just a victim all the time, and sometimes you need to be able to hold yourself accountable for the things that you weren't willing to do, weren't able to do, weren't ready to do, weren't mature enough to do. So that's just a summary of what this entire video is about. I'm talking about Brianna and Brianna only. And yes, I'll be giving some details on some things, giving some background and some inside stories to explain. But at the end of the day, this is not to bash anybody. We don't do that here, okay? I've been a woman. Catch it? Catch it? Okay. Anyways, let's get started. You still ain't subscribed yet? So the first thing I'm going to give y'all is the top 3 mistakes that I noticed off rip. And everything I'm going to explain to y'all in this video, I'm going to be as quick as possible with this video. But everything I'm about to explain is regarding my most recent relationship, because I've only been in one relationship since I've had my daughter Shy. And we were 2 weeks away from making a year. And I thank God for this relationship, because it has made me a better woman that I am today. And I can honestly say that this was something that this was a way of God showing me myself throughout this entire relationship. I've been revealed, right? Anytime you pray and ask God, God revealed to me all of me, right? And the good and the bad, you know. You better be ready for it, because however he reveals, you may or may not like it, but it is necessary. So that's why I thank God for this past relationship, because it showed a lot about myself that I either already knew about myself and been avoiding, didn't want to deal with it, or just was trying to shrug it off, just going with the flow of things in life, and things I really did not know about myself that I had to take a step back and really address myself on. So the first 3 things I'm going to give y'all is a summary of what this entire video is going to be about, that were my top 3 mistakes in this relationship since I've been a mom, okay? Mistake number 1. I never really sat down and asked myself the question of, what does dating look like for me now that I'm a mom, right? I definitely didn't plan on it. When this relationship happened, I wasn't looking for anybody. I wasn't seeking for anyone. I wasn't worried about no man, nothing. Like, it just kind of flowed and happened. And when we got into the relationship, I didn't premeditate on anything. I didn't pray about what dating would look like for me now that I'm a mom and stuff like that, what I should be attracting to and what I shouldn't be, all of that stuff I didn't really take into full consideration. I honestly just thought that I could just go with the flow, you know. Once that man did come into my life, you know, I was just like, okay, well, you know, we just gonna see. And of course I prayed on it, and we also prayed together, you know, as soon as we made the decision to be in a relationship. But I wasn't intentional with what it was that I should be cautious of, mindful of, and be looking out for since I became a mom, right? So let me just say this now. Dating is definitely different for those who are not parents and those who are parents. It's totally different ball game, because it's a different mindset that you have to have. It's things that you really have to be intentional about whenever you're choosing your life partner, choosing someone as your significant other. It's a lot that goes into that, and you're not just thinking about yourself when you make the decision to be with someone, because now you have a child to think of. And for those with multiple kids, shout out to y'all, first off, for keeping your heart open to still being open for dating for someone, for that special someone that God has for you to come into your life. Shout out to y'all for keeping your heart open and trying, and keep trying and not giving up, right? But for me, I only have one child. I have Shy. And I didn't take that into consideration, that the people that I choose to be connected to, it doesn't just affect me, it affects her. And whoever and whatever I allow to affect me, well, no matter how I defense it, or no matter how much I try to mask it, I'm a parent. So if I'm affected, she's affected. Okay? So I'm getting too ahead of myself, but let me just reel it back in real quick because that was my mistake number one. I didn't premeditate on what dating would look like for me now that I am a mom. I just jumped into it without mentally and emotionally preparing myself for what that would require of me and from that person. And so mistake number one, right? You definitely, like, one thing I learned, I definitely have to sit down, premeditate on what that would look like, what it is that I am looking for that will fit my lifestyle, fit the person and the character that I am, that, you know, just the whole nine, right? So mistake number one, I didn't do that. I didn't. And I didn't think that was such a big deal at first, but after that relationship, definitely a big deal. I 100% agree with why most single parents that I do know, they've always, you know, it's not that they're strict, but they have certain expectations, and people be like, especially from the people who don't have kids, they bash them for it, like, you know, girl, this is not, you know, whatever, or this, you doing too much, or you expecting too much, this is unrealistic. No, honey, no, because I didn't actually been through it now. So now I can speak from experience. You have got to have expectations, understanding of what you need and what you can handle, and knowing how much of yourself you are able to give if you're even ready to have a significant other being a single parent. Mistake number two, I didn't have no real expectations or standards for the man that I was dating at the time. And what I mean by that is when it comes to my child. Man, I always said, especially knowing that I was going to have my child as a single mom, I always said from the get-go, I was like, I'm never going to be that single mom out here that is going to expect, you know, the next man that comes into my life to take on the full responsibility of a father, because, you know, he's not obligated to, he's not expected to, we're not married, you know, all those things. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on a man. And, no, I've never been that woman to expect or ask things like that is not someone else's responsibility. That's my responsibility and her biological father's responsibility to take care of, right? So I'm going to say, how do I say it? I underestimated it, I'll say. I definitely underestimated that whole mindset, because I had that mindset of, especially when we decided to become in a relationship, I always had that mindset, even before we made that decision together, that I want him and my daughter to build that bond, to build their relationship. That is going to be between him and her. I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to beg him. I'm not going to do none of that stuff, right? Because I do enough of that with her biological father. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to allow him to come in and, you know, build that bond and connection with her on his own, right? That's his job to step in and do that, because why wouldn't you, right? You're choosing to be with someone who has a child. So making that conscious decision that I'm going to choose to be with you because I like you and I see a future with you, you know, my whole thought process with that is, you're going to build your relationship with my child all on your own. And I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to beg you to do anything. And although that's a good mindset to have, because I still think that way, but I have different expectations now with that, because in that experience, y'all, it became an issue. It did become an issue. And again, that's solely on me, because mistake number one, like I said, I didn't premeditate on what that would look like, what I could and could not tolerate, what I could and could not handle, both emotionally and mentally, right? Already having to deal with her biological father and certain things with that. I was like, okay, you're choosing to be with me, knowing I have a child. So that means that you're choosing her too, right? And so what I mean by that is, you know, like, especially like towards the end of the relationship, finding time for each other was very hard to do, because our schedules was already like crazy and hectic, right? We both have our own businesses. You know, we both are very involved with ministry, and personal things, right, and all of that good stuff, right? But one of the things that became a major issue that was on me, because I didn't speak on it ahead of time, was things like dates, right? There were times where, and there's only literally a handful of people that watch Shy for me if I ever need to get things done or just want to go out and enjoy life for a night or whatever the case may be. There's only a select few of people that watch Shy for me and takes care of her. And so when those people are not available, or if it's like a last minute decision like, hey babe, let's go this way, or let's go this place tonight, or let's do this tonight, or whatever the case may be, I don't like giving last minute notices, right? And so this is just one of the examples that took place, but I don't like last minute notices. It's going to have to be at least 24 to 48 hours in advance. Otherwise, you're going to have to potentially be considering my child being involved. And there are times where I would say, well, this is last minute, or my parents have class. So if we're going to do date night this night, Shy is going to have to be involved. And the conversation would either go dead, or the conversation would reroute itself to, okay, well, when are you available by yourself, right, type of deal. And that did become an issue for me. But then again, that was a hard pill to swallow, because I should have spoken up on that, and I should have had those expectations set from the top, from the beginning, right, before we even became in a relationship with one another. I should have already had that expectation understood, and I didn't. And again, that's accountability on myself, because that leaked into the relationship and was one of the causes of why it just didn't work out, right? And yes, he was very honest with me the entire time. I'm not ready for this, or I'm not ready for that, or I can't come to this event, I can't come to her birthday because I don't feel like, I don't think this will be smart, or I don't think, I should be around her father, just things like that, right? So it was just like, it was issues for me, because, man, I need you, right? I need you, and this is one of those times, like, I need you to be there, right? But then at the same time, I understood where he was coming from as well. But at the same time, that was another, like a whoosh moment, like, okay, I'm already dealing with this emotionally and mentally, and to not have you in support because of that very situation, you knew what you were walking into when you agreed to be with me, type of thing. And so he was honest from the beginning. However, I wasn't fully honest from the beginning with making that an expectation, right? And that's just one of the things. And so when I say not setting real expectations and standards, when it came to my child, that's what I mean, right? Not making things understood or aware ahead of time, because I just thought, if you're choosing to be with me, then you already knew what comes with that. And I was very honest with the whole situation between, her father and everything. And there's no drama or anything with her biological father. There's no issues. It's just certain things that just doesn't take place. Like, for my OGs that already been watching me, y'all know there's no co-parenting as an option for me. It's just me. It's just no co-parenting. So that's what I mean, right? So with that being said, again, shout out to all those single parents out there who have multiple kids. I only have one, and it was already a huge weight and burden for me. And for those of y'all who have multiple kids, man, shout out to y'all to still have your heart open to dating and whatnot, but just keep that in mind, that don't make the same mistakes that I did. And mistake number 2, I didn't have real expectations or standards for him when it came to my child. And just a little PSA, for those of you who are watching who don't have kids, whenever you are considering being with someone who do have kids, please be ready to step into that role of being a step-parent. And I'm not saying that you have to take over the full responsibilities of being a parent, especially not during the dating era, the talking stage dating era. I'm not saying like automatically take on full responsibilities financially and all that stuff. That's not what I'm saying, because I never did that in that relationship, ever. But what I'm saying is first of all, get a clear understanding on what that parent's end goal is. What is that person's end goal? My end goal is always marriage. I'm not trying to waste my time. I'm 25 years freaking old. Okay? The desires of my heart is clear. Marriage. Okay? And so when I'm dating, I'm not just dating because I want companionship or I just want somebody in my life. I'm dating because I'm trying to be drained, honey. So With that being said, please have clear understanding on that person's end goal, and then really ask yourself, am I ready to provide that? Am I ready to settle down? And am I ready to take on that responsibility of being a step-parent? Because again, if you're making that decision to be with somebody who has a child or multiple kids, you will have already that, especially knowing their end goal, by you making that conscious decision of, okay, I understand what your end goal is, and that's my end goal too. Let's make this a thing. Let's be together. Let's be in a relationship, and let's work towards those steps of becoming married down the line. You are already saying, by you making that decision, you're saying yes to those goals, which means you're saying yes to their children, which means you don't get to pick and choose what you want to be involved in and what you don't want to be involved in. And this recent relationship, it was easy to build a bond with my child in my house because you're coming over. You can't not interact with my child because you're in our house, right? We go to church together. You can't not interact with my child at church because everybody knows we're in a relationship. Everybody knows that's my child. So you're going to have to interact with her at church. But things like dates, she's going to have to be involved. Didn't happen. Things like her birthday, things like just small things didn't happen, right? And again, that's on me because I should have made that clear from the get-go. And I didn't. But keep that in mind for those who are that are considering dating or already dating somebody with a child. You have already said yes to being involved, including that child. You're not just saying yes to the person. You're saying yes to the person and everything that comes with them. So if you're not ready or if you don't know, and keep in mind that relationship, we almost made a year. We were only 2 weeks away from a year. That was plenty of time for you to know if you were ready or not. So again, don't waste the person's time. If you don't know if you're ready to take on that responsibility, or if you're not 100% sure of if you can handle what all comes with that, and your answer is, oh, I felt pressured, it was just a lot of pressure on me, then you need to really take a step back and stop wasting that parent's time, because they could be with somebody else who is ready for that and who does want that, right, and who can handle that. So please just keep that in mind. Just a little PSA. Because they're already carrying a lot. We're already carrying a lot, not just as a parent, but the other hats that we wear. Some of us are full-time entrepreneurs and full-time employees, on top of ministry, on top of family, everything, right? We already have hats that we wear, things that we juggle alone. Okay, some of my single parents that are out there watching, y'all do have co-parenting as an option, and it's going great. But there are some of us who don't have that, right? And so keep that in mind as well. When you're choosing to be with someone, get the whole understanding. Know what you can and cannot tolerate, what you can and cannot handle before choosing to be with that person who has children or a child. Because, again, they're already carrying enough on their shoulders. And if you can't come in and be a helpmate to them and help them out where needed, take a load off their shoulders, if you're only there for yourself, for your own self-gain, oh, I need support, oh, I need this, oh, I need that, or I want to be catered to, I want to be taken out on a date and all this stuff, then you're walking in with a selfish mindset and you're wasting that person's time. And then the last mistake before I start getting on these target guys, mistake number 3. I had a guilt issue, and what I'll say with that is I had a guilt issue when it comes to using my support system. I have a wonderful support system. My mom and my dad and her godparents, best support system I have, and I thank God for them. Honest, hands down. Thank y'all. But I didn't use my support system as much as I was able to, and as much as that was being presented to me. And what I mean by that is, I am that parent that says, I don't ever want to just drop my child off every time I want to go enjoy life or get out and have fun. That stuff like that makes me feel guilty. Hell, even having business meetings, I feel bad for asking my mom. It's just a guilt. I don't know why I'm that way, but I feel like I automatically feel like a burden when I'm asking for help. Can you watch Shy because I have a business meeting? Can you watch Shy because I have to be here? I have to be there, or I have to take care of this, or I want to go out and enjoy this. I want to go out to this event because they said this is going to be there, this person's going to be there, and I want to be involved in that. And I can't have Shy there because it's not a kid-friendly thing, or I want to enjoy it for myself, and I know I'm going to be in mommy mode if I bring Shy with me. So whenever, I was in that relationship and those opportunities presented itself, I didn't always take it. because for that very reason, I felt like I was a burden. And I don't like putting it feels like I'm putting my responsibilities on somebody else. Like, for those of y'all who really know me, I barely ask anybody for $1. I don't even ask somebody for 25 cents. That's just not who I am. It's a weird feeling to me. You could tell me a million times more that if I need anything to ask, and I would be like, yep, okay, I hear you. I hear you. And it's going in one ear and out the other. And I'm just being honest. I don't know. That's just always been me. If it's my responsibility, my child is my responsibility, and I was the one that laid down and ended up getting pregnant, having a child. So whether I have help from her biological father or not, that's my responsibility. So it's a weird feeling when I just go and drop her off to go and have fun, to go somewhere and just enjoy life or take care of some things that need to be taken care of. So that was a mistake number 3 for me, because there were times where I could really drop shy off, but it was either last minute or I was like, okay, well, you know, we're planning this, but my parents just got back from out of town. They just came back from a couple's trip. I don't want them coming back and in that exact same weekend they watching side for me like, you know, they just coming back from a vacation. I want them to come back, get ready, prepare, because they got to go back to work, right? So that's just how I think. Like, I try to be considerate, right? And so when things like that take place, which did take place during that relationship, I allowed that to stand in the way of, or to be the reason as to why I couldn't go out and have fun or cater to him and to his needs, which it wasn't fair to him, because again, just like he's coming to the relationship knowing that I have a kid, I'm getting into a relationship with him knowing I have a kid and everything that I already have to juggle. So which means I made that decision to say, yes, I'm ready to be in this relationship with you, and I want this and I want that, but I couldn't get it because I was allowing my mind to get in the way of overthinking. Okay, well, my parents said that she is never a problem. My parents said that she can always come over, and doesn't matter what time of day, doesn't matter what time of night, and I can just drop off, because they always say, especially my dad, shout out to my dad, he'd be like, girl, you need to get out, go enjoy life, meet new people, right? And just have fun. You are still young. Shy is never a birdie, and you're not just a mom. He say that all the time. And again, if you going in one ear, not the other, right? And so that was one thing that I definitely had to take full accountability for, because at first I was playing the victim, like, dang, like, but then of course, I had to reel it back in and be like, you know what, that is on me. Because again, yeah, he's coming to a relationship knowing I have a kid, but I agreed to being in a relationship with him knowing everything that I already have to juggle on my own. So I should have taken a step back and said, hey, can I handle this? Can I handle that? Okay, what can I make time for? And can I handle that, or will that overwhelm me? Am I mature enough emotionally to be able to categorize those things and say, okay, I had an emotionally long day, but so did he. Am I able to just, you know, categorize what happened today for me and then cater to his needs and cater to the relationship in general? Or do I just sit and woe is me and, oh, you got to think about me? So that's selfish too. So to the parents out there, whether you have one kid or multiple, and you're choosing to be in a relationship with someone else, you really have to understand what you can and cannot handle. And for me, another reason why I had to take accountability for that last mistake I just mentioned was because, again, my end goal is marriage. I had to literally look myself in the mirror and say, girl, what do you think marriage is going to be like? You're not just going to be responsible for taking care of your child, but you're going to be responsible for taking care of your husband. Folks are needy. Everybody's needy. Everybody's needy. Girls are needy. Men are needy. Children are hella needy. So I had to look myself in the mirror and be like, what do you expect? What do you think marriage is going to be like when y'all get married and then have kids together, already having one that's mine, right? Like, what do you think marriage is going to be? And I had to really sit back and be like, girl, you need to get yourself together, because you're blocking your blessings. And I can laugh about it now, but I kid you not, guys, I have cried about this on more than one occasion, y'all. I told you, I keep it real. I don't have no shame. ideal woman. Ain't nobody perfect. I'm definitely not. And that was something that was a hard pill for me to swallow, because I was like, okay, I have a support system, and they're saying that they're willing to. Now, if you take on that willingness and you start using that support system, and then if they start complaining about it, then that's a different story. But give them the chance to be that support system, to show you if they can handle that or not, so you can go out and enjoy benefits of life outside of parenthood, right? And for me, I didn't take advantage of that in the times that I could have, and that did mess up the relationship as well. And so, mistake number 3, y'all, parents, take that accountability, take that pill, because that be on us. We have to make time. We have to make time for that other person. Yes, of course, sometimes it will include your children, but there are times you really can take on that support system or resources. If you don't have a support system, there are 24-hour daycares out here that will watch your children for you, and you just going to have to accommodate to what it is that you have available for you, and then make it work so that you're also meeting the needs of your significant other as well, and that the relationship is being fed from both sides, okay? He's not the only person that's got to put in the work. She's not the only person that's got to put in the work. For my single fathers out there, it is also us parents who's got to put in that work. And yes, we already have work. We already have a load on our shoulders, but you got to be a helpmate. They're not the only ones coming into your life. You're coming into theirs as well. All right. So my big back is tingling, and y'all finna watch me go into the kitchen. So let's go with the rest of this vlogcast. The next section of this episode, we're going to get into the things that I've gotten wrong, things that I've done wrong. So I've already given y'all the top 3 mistakes that I've made and I've realized and that I can take accountability for now. But now we're going to go into details more, because I believe this is really going to help a lot of y'all single parents. And the only reason why I believe that is because I've had multiple single parents. 3 were moms and 2 were fathers that came to me. And we've had all the same situations when it came to dating single parent edition. And so let's get into it. And my battery better die. Oh my God. Alright, y'all. So I just got to washing my hands, and my battery had died, so I had to go switch my batteries out real quick. And now we back. Alright, I didn't do nothing while I was off camera. Nice. Step wash my hands. Okay. Y'all, I thought Sharp was freaking up. She did kind of pop her head up. So I must be talking real loud. I thought I woke her up, y'all. I just want to eat before she wakes up. So I'm going to try to hurry up and make this turkey burger. I'm going to go ahead and make these turkey burgers while we keep chit-chatting, all right? Ooh. Maybe when I make my pepper steak and rice, I can give y'all my recipe and ingredients and do a cook and chat with me. Let me know in the comments if y'all want to do that or see that. My pepper steak and rice go hard. Okay. Anyways, we're going to make some turkey burgers. And I like to put ketchup in mine. Just like as if I'm making meatloaf. Because I like my ground turkey to have some seasoning. And I don't like to taste that bland. So if y'all see me looking over here, because I'm looking at Shia on my camera while talking to y'all. Anyways, I just put a little pepper in mine. Just a little bit of onion powder. Gotta have them Tony Thatcher. He's so sexy. Okay. And then of course my garlic powder. That's all I use. I used to put paprika and stuff in there, but all that stuff be able to making it too salty. And this just be just enough. All of that with some ketchup. So that's what I'm making. And then I'm going to just pre-make the patties and then put them in here one by one, and I'm going to separate them with some furl. Yes, I said furl. F-O-I-L, furl. Duh. And fill it up with the top so that way I don't have to make any patties the next time I'm ready for another burger. Okay? And then pick on my beautiful cast iron. They be the small things. You know you're getting old when you start getting happy about dishes. I got my cast iron. So anybody want to play with me? I'm going to try this year. Anyway, I'm cooking the patties on here. Then I got my Miss Braid. Oh, Bears. I thought it was Miss Braid. Yeah, Bears. Miss Braid. I got some regular buns. And when I'm ready for them, I'm going to toast them in the oven because I like my buns to be toasted with a little bit of butter on it. Okay. Boy. Dang, I said it normal that time. Alright. So now let's get into some of the details of the three things that I mentioned earlier in the video. So you just gonna get into details about a few things. First one being that, and these are details on all the things that I've done wrong. Because again, we ain't bashing nobody. We just gonna take accountability for what we did wrong, and then we gonna learn from our mistakes and what we allowed and what we tolerated and what we did, what we didn't do, what we weren't willing to do. One of those for me was poor connection. Thought she was waking up, but poor connection, poor communication is what I meant to say. Poor communication out of fear, y'all. Poor communication out of fear. And what I mean by that is I don't like confrontation. I don't like confrontation at all. I don't like arguing. I don't like yelling my voice, raising my voice. I don't believe in all of that. And the reason why I don't is because I used to be that girl. I used to be that person that would make time to argue. Because at one point in time in my life, I liked to be angry. It was a thing growing up, and my parents would tell you I've done therapy and all that, and anger made me feel good because that was when I got angry and I lashed out, it was because I was holding it in for so long that it would just burst out growing up as a kid. And so when I burst out, I felt good. I didn't care who I hurt. I didn't care. And I didn't have to put my hands on you because I knew what words to say that I knew would hurt you to the core. And so I was one of those girls. I could hurt you with my words. I didn't have to put my hands on you. And I don't fight men, okay? I don't put my hands on men, okay? No, I'm not that woman. I'm not. And so for me, I especially in this relationship, we had really good communication overall in general, but I still had bad communication because I wasn't honest and open about how I truly felt on certain things, because I didn't want to feel like I was too needy or putting too much pressure on him. And that came in every area, whether it was regarding my child or things that I wanted, things that I needed. In a relationship and stuff, things that I wasn't able to open up to him about because there were some things that he really didn't have the answers for. He didn't know how to, either he didn't know to have the answers for it, or he didn't know how to encourage me out of that place. There were plenty of times that he did do that, but there were more times that he couldn't because he's not experiencing it. And what I mean by that is a lot of things that I had to deal with her father while we were together. There were things that did come up during our relationship that took a lot out of me mentally and emotionally. Things that put me in a place where I was like very upset, crying about it and stuff, and I had come to him about it, or other things that I never spoke up to him about because I already had in the back of my mind he doesn't know how to not get me out of this place, but like get me to a better perspective on the whole situation, or to be a helpmate in those moments, right? It would just kind of be like an awkward thing, and like somehow we get back on the subject of him. And so for me, it was hard for me to like open up about certain things because I already knew he doesn't know how to respond or help me in this area, because he's not a father. He doesn't have any kids. So there were things that he really couldn't relate on or didn't know how to be a helpmate to. And I did end up taking that out on him unintentionally. At first unintentionally, but then towards the end of the relationship, intentionally. Because, again, he's not experienced in parenthood, and, I was his first relationship that he was in with that aspect. A woman had a child that he pursued. And so for me, after a while, like I just stopped venting to him about it. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm gonna talk to my therapist about it, or I talked to my mom about it, or my dad about it, and I got some clarity on it, I got some help on it, but he still wanted to, one of his ways of loving is acts of service. So he wanted to know, he wanted to at least let me get it off my chest and vent it to him, even if he didn't know how to say it or what to say. He just wanted me to tell him, and I didn't understand that because for me, there are times where I'm not always looking for you to say something or get me to a happy place because I know how to do that for myself. But the thing was, there were times where I just needed you to be there or to hold me or to just support, be there and whatnot, and just let that sit. And somehow we would just end up on the subject of him, his issues, his things. So for me, I didn't verbalize how that made me feel. I didn't verbalize it. I verbalized it, and I told him, like, sometimes I need this, sometimes I need that, or sometimes I would talk to you about this, but somehow we'll end up on a conversation about you. And I verbalized it, but it wasn't being fixed. So instead of me, like, being completely honest with him about how that made me feel or just certain things like that, I just ended up shutting down because I don't like confrontation. I'm going to try to open this up on season and fuzzy freaking longer. Got it. But I didn't know how to, I'll say this, because I did know how to communicate it, but there's two reasons why. Again, I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing, I'm going to be completely honest. For one, I was no longer willing to open up about it because I felt like I did before and you weren't a very good helpmate to me, in my opinion. But I didn't take into consideration that he just doesn't know how. He's probably still learning how to love me in those certain moments because, he's never experienced it. He's never had to deal with that. He doesn't have any kids. He doesn't have these type of loads and weights and burdens that I have to carry. He doesn't have to hold that or carry that. So he's learning. He was probably trying to learn how to love me in those moments, and I just wasn't willing to like give him any more time to do that because it was multiple occasions that it took place, and it was clear that it was just something he just wasn't able to provide. Like that was a part of support and a part of being a helpmate that he was still trying to figure out his way of doing it or style of doing it or whatever the case may be. But because of that and because of the amount of times that it took place, I ended up just shutting down completely.
So I just stopped communicating about it. I wasn't opening up about it. And he would know, like, he would ask me, like, okay, what's wrong? Okay, are you sure? And he would ask me, like, are you sure? Are you positive? Okay. But, like, deep down inside, he would know something was up. But I just wasn't going to tell him because I already knew what the outcome was going to be. We were either going to end up talking about him and his issues and his stuff, or it just be awkward. Like, we don't, it's just like a, okay, I hear you type of deal, and then, like, it's just like an awkward silence. So it was just like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna shut down. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not, because I don't like to argue. I don't like confrontation. I really don't. I'm the type of person, I just much rather just be quiet and keep it to myself type of person, because I don't know. And then on top of that, I'm an overthinker. So I be premeditating on what it could possibly be like. Okay, if I open up to you about this, or if I tell you how this feels, are you going to get offended? Because that's what I'm used to from the past. Are you going to get offended? So now I was having bad communication out of fear, on top of what is the word I'm looking for? Relating it to my past. People that I was connected to, men that I was connected to in my past, because that was what they do. They either would use it against me, things that I would vent to them about, or we would end up arguing because it offended them of things that I vented to them about, how that made me feel, how something that they were lacking in that moment that I needed, made me feel, and then it would affect them because now I'm telling them that they hurt me or that they are not meeting a certain thing that I needed, so we would end up arguing. So in this relationship, I just shut down. I didn't want to tell him nothing. I didn't want to vent to him about nothing. And then I didn't want to tell him that it was bothering me that he couldn't help me, because I was stuck between two mindsets. I know he cares, but he hasn't experienced it. He doesn't know what it feels like. He doesn't know what to say or how to love me or how to handle me or, love me in those moments that I needed. And then two, in my mind I was like, okay, but I didn't came to you. I tried coming to you multiple times about several different things, and now you clearly showed me that you're just not capable of doing it and whatnot. And so either way, that put pressure on him, because now he's overthinking and he's like, okay, well, what do? I don't know what to do. You're not allowing me the opportunity anymore to show you that I can learn or that I can love you. I'm just trying to find my way. I'm just trying to find my style as your man on how to be there for you in those times. And for me, I couldn't see that, and I was no longer willing to. So which means I was no longer willing to communicate that, and that was very bad of me to do, because again, that resulted into why our relationship couldn't really work out, because now my heart's closed. I'm closed-hearted. I'm not open enough to allow you to come in to my life, into my situation, and to the weight that I carry on a daily basis. I'm not open to you anymore. And he stated that too. He was like, I realize that you're not open to me anymore unless I have these things, taken care of or in place. And I couldn't even deny it. I was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So that was one of the things that I definitely wanted to open up to y'all about, because that was very bad of me to do, was to stop communicating. One thing you cannot stop doing is communication. And then again, that goes back to what I said earlier in my video. My end goal is to be married. So this was definitely God's way of showing me that I had some work to do, because in your marriage, you can't just not talk to your partner. Y'all are married. Y'all can't get rid of each other, okay? It's a whole legal thing. And I always said, I'm only getting married once, okay? And once I'm married to that person, you is stuck with me. Huh? Where you think you going? To the restroom? Better go to the restroom, catch your breath, get yourself together, then come back to me when you ready. Because we ain't going nowhere. Because you the only one. But seriously, on a serious note, that goes back to me having to literally look myself in the mirror and be like, girl, what do you think marriage is going to be like? You say you want to be married, but you can't even communicate. You didn't close your heart after a couple of times that you tried to open up and vent, and he wasn't able to or willing to. And it wasn't because he didn't care, he didn't love you. It was because he was probably learning how to love you in those moments. What can he do? He was probably learning you too. What am I receptive to when I get to those moments in life, those low moments in life? What am I receptive to and what I'm not? What will I receive and what won't? What will make me feel better? So he was probably learning both how he can love me and how I can receive his love. I don't know. But those are the things that I was just thinking as I was healing, post the relationship. And then, of course, my therapy. Shout out to my girl, my therapist. If you be watching, hey, girl. And she helped me to realize that it's true. Like, I can't close my heart. And that's exactly what I did. Can't do that when you're married. So, something I've definitely been putting work in now on doing with the people God has in my life now. So, yeah, that goes perfectly into my next target that I wanted to talk about, which was not initiating or withdrawing emotionally. Not initiating or withdrawing myself emotionally. And what I mean by that is because of small things like that, right? Simple things that could have been communicated, I could have given grace on to extend and allow us to keep trying and, figure all of that stuff out. Small things like, not knowing how to love each other in certain areas of our life. Those things started to build up over time. And eventually, put just a little bit more pepper in it. So I smell that ketchup. Hey, got my pepper seasoning in it, cheese. But okay, I was because of small things like that and other small things that kept taking place in a relationship. It just started building up over time, and so for me, already juggling the things that I already have to juggle on a daily. We've already listed all those things. We ain't got to keep listing them. Everybody got multiple hats. Everybody got a lot they have to carry on a daily basis, right? But with all that being said, all those little things that kept building up throughout the relationship, towards the end, like all those things started feeling more like, it made the relationship feel more like a task versus us being in a relationship being a helpmate to each other. The relationship started feeling more like another task to me, honestly. And that was something that I definitely had to take accountability for. Because, again, you can't withdraw emotionally. If you want to be married, and I'm definitely going to be married, and I do want to be married, and I'm going to get there. But this was God showing me that I got some work to do within myself because I can't withdraw, I can't withhold, I can't hold back parts of me. You either giving all of you or you ain't giving at all. And I wasn't willing to put in the effort anymore because I felt like we were just no longer on the same page because, again, he's not a father. And for a second, and this is a transparent moment, for a second, towards the end of the relationship, I actually started talking to myself like negative stuff like, now I was saying things in my head like, now I see why, single parents prefer to date other parents because at least they understand they have kids, so they understand the way that comes with that. I mean, and let me just give a brief example, right? Me being in this relationship since I've had Shy, there were things that I was constantly doing, right, just to make sure. So I was making time for him, but we weren't spending, like, quality time, like using our time in a wise way, I would say, as to where like, we were still pouring into the relationship and pouring into each other, right? He just came over to my house a lot, honestly. Or I would go out. Anytime we did anything in public, I was supporting him. And so, majority of the time. We had a few dates here and there, but that was like the basis, the foundation of our relationship. I was supporting him. Anytime we was out in public, it was because I was at his business opportunities, and then if not, he was here at my house. So for me, you coming over and automatically, sometimes Shy was awake, but I made sure that Shy was taken care of and that she was down for bedtime because the times that we were able to spend with each other was usually at nighttime because we done with the day, our day is over. Of course, again, our schedules were very, very busy during the day between business, our regular jobs, work, and then personal life, things that we both carry in our own personal lives and stuff. And so night times was usually the times that we both had available. So when he came over, it was usually around that time, evening or nighttime. And so for me, I'm already having a long day of working and taking care of Child Day, because y'all are my OGs know she don't go to no daycare. That's a whole nother rent payment. Baby, please. So Because who's going to pay more a month for daycare that they don't even pay for their own house? Oh, not me. So for y'all, for my OGs that already know, my child is here with me all day. I'm already working full time. When I clock out, straight business work. Like, it's just no off time for me. So for me in a relationship, when I say that I was beginning to withdraw emotionally and was no longer initiating, it's because I felt like I was already giving too much. You coming over to my house, that's extra on. This is a one-parent household, one-income household. So funds were tight. They are still kind of tight. I mean, funds don't be tight regardless because you got bills, right? But I'm more financially free now than what I was when I was in the relationship with him. Some great opportunities came my way as soon as we broke up, and financially, God has been blessing me. So things that I wasn't able to do in the relationship, like initiating dates, that was one of the things that he really wanted. He really wanted me to initiate dates. And I wasn't able to do that. And I would actually open up and communicate that, like, financially I'm not able to do that. You know, I'm just, if you come over, we can have a good time, play the games, you know, just bond and doing things we both love to do. But I wasn't able to initiate, and that was one of the issues that kept being presented to me. I need to initiate. So in my mind, I started withdrawing emotionally, and that's why I said the relationship started feeling like more of a task to me, because it's like, when you come over, I'm making sure Shy is down for bed for nighttime. Before you come over, I'm making sure I got at least something for you to eat, something to cook. If not, I'm eating out, buying something for us, like maybe some pizza or something. And then on top of that, I'm getting myself together, taking my shower as soon as I clock out, getting Shasha in her bath as soon as she clock out, spending some time with her before I put her down for bedtime at night. And then on top of that, when you come over, now I'm catering to you, because why? You're in my house now. So now that's another mouth to feed, right? Making sure you're fed, making sure you're taken care of. That's extra on electricity, because now, you know, we're and yes, I am one of those people that will monitor how much electricity I use in a day. I work from home, y'all. So being at home all day, I'm not going to have no $300, $400 electricity bill. Oh, please, no. Okay? All right? Ain't happening. As you can see, again, I don't care. I don't have no shame in my game. Y'all got this lighting from the light over my stove. I'm not turning on this big light in this kitchen just so you can see me. Y'all see me just fine with my light skin self, right? But no, I'm just saying all that to say, you know, this is a one-parent household. So for me, you're coming over, and all of these things I'm having to provide for you to make sure you're comfortable, you know, while you're over here. I mean, now it's my act of service. That's the woman in me that I've seen growing up in my household. Growing up, my mama was the nurturer. She made sure everybody was good. Then she always took care of herself last, once everybody was taken care of. And so when you come over to my house, that's my act of service, and that's never a burden to me. However, I was like, okay, well, I'm initiating, I'm giving. I felt like I was giving, but it wasn't enough at the time. Like, I'm giving you my time. I'm making sure when you come over, the house is always clean, so you're coming into a clean atmosphere. When you come over, Shasha is already put in bed, so you don't have to worry about pressure on you to interact with her and to bond with her and all that stuff. And so when you come over, I'm trying to make it as smooth and easy and as peaceful as possible for you. But little do you know, that's weight. That's another load, making sure that you are taken care of every time you're coming over. So when you want me to initiate, I'm emotionally tired. You want me to give more, take you out on dates, all of this other stuff. And at the time, I wasn't able to do any of that. So I was like, you want me to initiate? You're asking for too much. And really, he was asking for things that I should be able to do anyway, getting into a relationship with anyone. You get into a relationship, whether you have a big enough load or not already, you're going to have to learn how to have fun and give to him as well, not just one-sided. And for me, I wasn't willing to do that. Not anymore, because I felt like he was asking more from me than I was getting from him. And again, that goes back to my first point that I was mentioning before of my lack of communication. Because had I told him my expectations from the start of, okay, I need you to be willing to accept shy for certain things. Like, if we have to go on a date with her, we're just going to have to go on a date with her. If we're going to have to, simple stuff. And because I didn't communicate that, all that stuff started building up over time and starting to leak into the relationship, all because I refused to communicate those things because out of fear. Because I didn't want no confrontation. I didn't want to put pressure on him. But it still ended up putting pressure on him regardless, and on the relationship, because I didn't communicate those things. So now I'm withdrawing and he's trying to figure out why. I'm holding back and he's trying to figure out why. All because I'm operating out of fear. I'm trying to love out of fear. Mistakes, y'all, mistakes, but we learn from them. And that's the whole point of why I'm opening up to y'all about it, because these are things that a lot of us parents do, single parents do. When we try to get into a relationship, we don't take into consideration of the person. You have to give just as much as you want to receive. And it's not just one-sided. You're not the only person that's got things going on. You're not the only person that has a weight or a load on their shoulders when it comes to life. So you have to be considerate of the other person as well. And for me, I stopped initiating and I started withdrawing emotionally because of simple things that I could have done, like communicate my feelings. Communicate my feelings on certain things. Communicate my needs on certain things. I know you want me to initiate, but I haven't been willing to. Had I just said, baby, I'm willing to initiate dates, but you already know how my finances is looking like. You know everything costs. So even if you wanted to have a simple date night here at the house, candles cost, right? Food cost. It's still a cost either way. And I wasn't able to do that during the relationship. And so if I would have done simple things like communicate, like, baby, you already know where I am at financially, and I want to do these things for you. However, the relationship is starting to feel taxing to me. Like, it's starting to feel like a task. Like you're starting to feel like another child to me, or not necessarily that, but like it's starting to feel like you're wanting more from me than what I'm receiving from you. Had I just started off the conversation like that, or at least a conversation with that, it would have definitely been a different story. Or, I don't know, it probably would have been the same story, but at least I would have communicated that and we would have had a better understanding of the relationship and maybe have even tried new things or other things or different ways to love each other and feed the relationship that was lacking and that was needed. But again, I couldn't because I wasn't willing to. Look at that pretty little thing. So right now, I'm just patting them up and then I'm folding up foil. Dang it, I done said it normal again. Fur. I'm just folding up the fur on here and I'm just putting each patty on top, keeping them separate. And then when I get to my last one, that's what I'm going to cook in there. And so, yeah, I'm just doing that because once I wash my hands for real from all this raw meat, I don't want to have to touch raw meat again. I just want to be able to start cooking and flipping and toasting my buns and cutting my tomatoes and stuff. So now I'm almost done, y'all, with this episode. Really, I just wanted to give y'all some of those points. I'm really just detailing what I had already gave y'all the top 3 mistakes in the beginning of the episode. I'm just really detailing as we go, and hopefully this is helping someone. She is still sleeping. Look at her. I will show y'all her on the camera, but raw meat hands right now, and I ain't gonna just start touching stuff. But when I'm done, I'll show y'all her on the camera. But yeah, so support system. Let's talk about that. Support system. My support system is really, 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 really good, man. And I already told y'all who the support system is. Well, again, it's a select few of people. However, support system for me, I'm just now starting to, well, not just now, but of course before this episode, and when I've been putting in the work now, especially since the relationship, and I've been doing my reflection and stuff, one of the things that I've been doing now is asking my parents to watch Shy or sometimes her godparents. It mainly just be my parents because they're down the street from me. And her godparents are kind of like 30 minutes plus, and to me that's like a far drive. So I be going to my parents first and then them second. But now I actually get out the house and I really enjoy it. Like I've been putting into practice what I want to be able to do. Once, God has already placed some people in my life, there are some potential people, and I'm not going to speak on it because, I'm not going to speak on it until, I know what's going on, what's who. But let's just say, God is placing some really good people in my life, and it's going really good. And before I met them, I had already been putting into practice, learning how to enjoy life. And I've been going out, so right now I've really been going out every Sunday because that is automatic. Every Sunday is Gigi days. Gigi and Sade spend time together, her pawpaw, her TC. She go to their house every Sunday after church. So Sundays I've been already putting it into practice. During the week, I've been asking them, hey, can you watch Sade for me just for a few hours, or can she spend the night? I'll come pick her up in the morning or whatever. And no complaints. Bring her over, girl. Yeah. Why are you even asking? Do you have to ask? Are you really asking, girl? Drop her off. They don't even care about me at that point. They just be like, bring my grandchild, bring my niece. And when I bring her, bye. Why you here? I'll be trying to sit down and talk with them for a little bit, and stuff. And how was y'all day? And why are you still here? Dang. I'm going. I just wanted to say hey first, Nah, but now I'm putting into practice so that, if God says, that the person is the person He has for me, I've already been putting into practice my wife duties, things that I know I'm going to have to do when I'm a wife, making time for people and myself, still balancing my own self-care, me time, on top of time for another person outside of my child that I would be responsible for. So I've been putting that into practice slowly, but it's been actually going really good, better than I thought it would. At first I thought it was going to take me a while to kind of get out there, and it still is. I'm taking my time. I'm not just out here wild, y'all. For y'all that know me, I don't do clubs. I hate the clubs. I've tried it, and I will never try it again, okay? It's just not me, right? However, I am getting out there. I'm getting out there. My heart is open for dating again because I have a different perspective on the dating world. I've been putting into practice how to make time for myself, for my child, and then for potentially my significant other. And so those things it wasn't easy at first because, again, that guilt started kicking in like, dang, I didn't drop my child off so that I can go chill at this lounge, to meet new people and whatnot. But it's actually starting to feel a lot better. Like, the guilt is still, it'll always be there. I don't think that'll ever not be there, not at least because knowing how I am and who I am as a person, as a woman. But I can say, I will not lie, it feels good when I can drop my child off and go and enjoy life and go and meet new people and make myself available for whoever it is that God has for me. And so I've been doing that, and it doesn't feel like a burden anymore. If anything, it's really just a guilt thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I still have those moments where I'm like, I'm putting my responsibilities on someone else, and I'm not here, trying to have a good time and meet new people. I need to be home. Putting my baby to sleep, not my mama, right? It still feels weird. I kid you not. I'll be at the place thinking about I should be in my head. That's what's going on in my head while I'm at the place. I should be home right now. Why am I here? Why? This don't even feel right. Like, nah. But then again, I have that other side of me that be like, but this feels nice. Wow, I can breathe. I'm enjoying myself, right? And woo, yada, yada, yada. Okay, I'm done. This was perfect. All right. So now, when God gives me that green light to be like, this is the one, this is him, I'll be like, okay, boo, cool. Like, what you want to go do? You want to go do this? Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. But then at the same time, if I ever have to say, Shy might need to come with us, he gonna already know. Because during that talking stage, that's already an expectation that's well known now. And so now if I say, Shy gotta come with us, he gonna be like, okay, bring her. She ain't a problem. Shoot. And then take care of us. Like, we gonna have a good time. And that's the energy. So this is like really like a side note for those of y'all who are considering dating somebody with a child. The easiest way to their heart is making them feel safe in being a parent outside, and not just a parent, but everything they are outside of being a parent. But when you can sit up there and say, your child is not a problem, bring your child, okay, and like, okay, let's come on, and then turn around and say something like, as long as I'm around you, I'm good. As long as I'm with you, I'm good. Your child is never a problem for me, right? Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but that is sexy. That is sexy. Okay, Daddy, let's go. Oh, let's go. Where we going? At that point, I'm headed over here. We going. Where we going? I'm coming, I don't care. We gonna get cute. We gonna go out. We gonna have a good time. Period. And so, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and end this video off with the last little section of this video, which is things that I've learned. And I've already explained and detailed as I went through each point throughout this video. So this last section here, I'm literally just going to list them off, and then we gonna leave the comment section for open discussion time, because I really want to hear y'all's input on this. But anyways, what I know now, things that I know now, things that look at that, perfect. Things that, you see how I didn't slide off? Alright. Stop playing with my food. But things that I know now and I am doing now and putting into practice more and more, and it's becoming easier for me with the people that are in my life now. So, number one, confidence and communication. Confidence and communication. That is key. I'm a confident person in general, but just like I said in this video, when it comes to confrontation with my significant other, I start overthinking. I'm just gonna shut down. And when I say I shut down, I don't talk. I don't talk about it. I get quiet. I get real quiet. And there's no way that I'm not the type that can fake it. Even if I try to fake it, you gonna know. Like, you gonna know something wrong with me, something's on my mind, something's on my heart, and it's bothering me. You gonna know. And so, confidence and communication, telling my significant other that, hey, what you're doing or what you're not doing is hurting me, and this is what I'm needing from you. And being confident to say that without being afraid of confrontation that may come with it, or whatever the response may be. I just need to be ready for whatever that is and be emotionally mature to respond as like an adult should, like an adult woman should, and not retaliate like a kid. Not to say that that's what I do, because that's not what I do, but that's how I overthink. I'd be like, okay, well, if I tell him this and then he don't receive it, or he start playing victim, or he get mad that I'm out of me telling him that what he is or is not doing is bothering me or hurting me or whatever, then I start thinking like, okay, well, is this going to turn into an argument, things like that. No longer do I do that. I just go out and I just tell him. Y'all, my camera died on me, so we just gonna finish this baby. Finish the rest of this episode off my phone, and call it a day, okay? But anyways, long story short, now with the people that are now with, you know, the man that is trying to come into my life now, and all these other things that are taking place, I'm not afraid of the rejection or whatever the response or reaction may come out of me telling them, you know, my expectations, my standards, you know, things that I have no choice but to stand on, because again, like I said earlier in the video, whatever affects me affects my child. And I'm not just going to bring just anybody in her life anymore that is not fully ready to take on that role, because I know what my end goal is and I'm serious about it. So that means I'm going to take my accountability. I'm going to swallow that hard pill, and I'm going to fix the things that I need to fix within myself to be able to handle and maintain when God say,
this is your husband, this is who I have for you. And I can say, okay, I'm ready to receive because I've been preparing and I'm ready for what it is that you are ready to release to me. And so when he gives me my husband, I've already been putting in the practice on myself, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, actually putting in the work so that when he comes into my life, it doesn't feel like another task to me. The relationship won't feel like a burden or another task to me. Why? Because I've been putting in the work, and now it's just a routine. It's just my lifestyle. It's just adding on to who I am and what I am responsible of taking care of. Simple. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are like the summary, the talking points. And the last thing that I learned and what I know now, like with a clear point of view, is that my child is not a burden. I have a child. So anybody that is choosing to be in my life, they're choosing her as well. And again, I'm not expecting I'm not expecting the man to come in and do like just be macho man, right? And everything. But like prime example, this relationship that I was basing this video off of, we were 2 weeks away from a year. It don't take a man that long. It don't take anybody that long to not know, to still use excuses of saying, well, I have to communicate with her father, or we have to have a better foundation before we start including your child. We are almost a year in. The foundation is there. Do you know or not? Right? So for me, now I know that, like, I know I have a different perspective on it, that my child is not a burden. And if you're saying yes to me, I was very clear and upfront from the beginning with expectations and standards now with this next person that God is bringing into my life. So now I'm like, okay, you know all of this. So now I'm just going to hold you at your word. And if you can't abide by it, or if you can't live by the word that you told me, and I don't see it in your actions, then that's my sign. That's God's way of showing me this ain't the person for you. But I'm no longer looking at it as if my child is a burden or that I'm putting pressure on you, because it's not pressure. You knew what you were walking into from the beginning. All right, y'all. I think my skillet is ready now. I'm finna go ahead and start making this turkey burger. And Shasha is still asleep. And I can't even show you because I'm recording on my phone now because my freaking camera, just to show for proof, my camera done died. So it's on the charger now and whatnot. But I do want to hear what y'all have to say about this video. This is a definite open discussion. I really want to know what y'all have to say about it. If anything in this video helped you, for those who are single parents or those who have friends that are single parents trying to date again, definitely send in this video. Let's see, did I hit the point? Did I hit the target on anything? Did I make you think on something or give you a different perspective on something? Like, did any point of this video make you go, girl, you cooking? I didn't even look at it that way. Or, you know what, you are absolutely right. I need to take accountability because that's what I do too. If you had any type of moment of that, like that, or anything similar throughout watching this video, let's talk about it in the comment section because I want to hear it, okay? And if you ain't hit that subscribe button, meet me outside at 3 o'clock. Oh, and remember, becoming your ideal self is a journey, not a destination. So keep growing. See ya!